Here we go. Excellent.
Whoa!
Excellent.
We just got pointed at. That must mean something.
That's it. Here we are. Welcome.
Welcome.
It's the Genesee County Compassion Club show. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
How are you guys today?
Pretty good.
Fantastic.
It's a beautiful day out.
It is beautiful. How is everyone out there?
Yay. How about you, John? How you doing?
This is great, man. This day is beautiful out. I've been up since pretty early, and it looks great. It looks great.
You look pretty chipper. Like you had a good morning.
Yeah, I did have a good morning. I did. It was like I like getting rolling before 12 o'clock, and a lot of times I don't do that because I'm at the when I'm at home I'm still doing stuff like loading up videos, stuff like that. And it's really cool to get out before 12. Get out the house before 12. So it was just really cool. I ran up to the Ridgefield Academy, filmed a presentation they did up there. It was pretty good. It was really pretty decent. We'll talk about that later probably, but
Yeah, I was going to say, tell us a little bit about that. You're up at the Richfield Public Schools Academy.
yeah, right there, not too far from your clubhouse and their house there. They did a presentation called "Chasing the Dragon," and it's about trying to intervene and prevent kids from getting on heroin and hardcore drugs.
Wow.
And very unique approach, and they're
Chasing the
very
Dragon.
decent people, and they've been doing it for a couple of years now. And some serious tragic situations occurred before that caused this to be formed. And Sam Girardi, the guy who's part of this, he's been in the studio for different shows, and he's got some interesting perspectives. And sometimes I'd like to have him come on your show and talk about it too, his take on the war on drugs and all that. So we'll work that out in the future, hopefully. So
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I'd love to have that chat.
Chasing the Dragon. Have you ever seen the Guitar Hero South Park? When they have the video game called Chasing the Dragon, it's called Heroin Hero. And the whole video game is about like this guy with the needle, and he's chasing a dragon. The dragon's going, "Come on, kid, come on, you're almost there. You almost got me." And then he pokes up the needle in the cartoon game, and whoever plays it sitting there all looking lethargic and stuff. It just made me laugh.
Awesome.
He said, "Chasing the Dragon." Sorry. It's a South Park flashback. It's my era, Grew up on South Park, pretty much that and Simpsons now. So for real, Simpsons like the starter in the South Park. You gotta love it, man. Good comedy, good comedy.
For sure. All right, we got some information for you today we wanted to share. And we got some events coming up at the Compassion Club I also want to go over today with you.
Oh yeah.
Certainly is a beautiful day here in the city of Flint. I know summer's winding down, but man, it just doesn't get much better than this.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Sunday's beautiful.
It's like a nice Indian summer. Not too
Yes.
cold, not too warm.
Have we looked at the weather for Sunday? Because you know what Sunday is, right?
Sunday is our very last Adopt a Highway cleanup.
Of the year.
Of the year.
Yeah, don't
It's
get
the very
excited.
last one of the year. Yep, that'll be 9 a.m. Sunday the 22nd. We'll be meeting at the clubhouse, 9 o'clock. We'll be going over our safety videos, dividing into two teams for our M13 location and our M54 location, which is the new one. That's right on Dort Highway between Carpenter and Stanley Road. And we didn't quite clean up as well as we had hoped the
Yes.
last time. We ran out of bags. So the more people we have to show up on Sunday, the better cleanup we can do, and hopefully less to do next spring when we start all over again.
And this one is a potluck, right?
And it is a potluck. We're having an awesome big thank you potluck for all of our supporters, everyone that comes out and volunteers as often as they can. And luckily we were able to make it on a Sunday so all of our vendors can get some time to go
And
as
staff,
well.
too.
And
I
our
know the
staff.
staff was
That's
like,
right,
"Man."
staff.
Yeah.
Better show up.
Yep. It's not mandatory, but it's highly recommended.
That's right. No, but we're really excited though. We've got 2 sign-up sheets already, so it's looking good.
Yeah, so if we can get both these roads busted out, and close this year off with getting Dort Highway looking as good as M13,
That's right.
I think we'll really feel fulfilled this summer. Like self-fulfillment
so, as
level
well.
will be like way up here.
For sure.
Yeah, because I drive Dort Highway quite a bit. And
Yeah, it's right in the middle of where we all are, so we
Yeah.
might as well make it look as clean as we can, guys. So
I've
we'd love
gotten
to have you out there.
more nails in my tire in the last few years, with leaving from the club and such, than I could ever imagine getting nails in my tires ever. Like, what was it last
awful.
winter? I think I got 3 tires with nails or bolts or weird pieces of like recycling material from
Wow.
driving down Dort Highway last winter.
Wow.
Because I remember one was DJ Short's class he was teaching, and she got like 2 hours late because I was on my way there, and I got a boom, low light on. It's
just
always down
ridiculous,
Dort Highway
though.
right there, in that same spot.
It's because you didn't clean it before.
I know.
Not even an opportunity. Save the tires.
Should be great
No.
though. Hopefully we have a wonderful turnout.
Oh, it should be awesome.
Let's
I know we have a lot of fellow club members, staff, patron, all of which they even talk about bringing friends and such, and that's right. You can bring friends. We do have two sides of of the club now, so we can allow people who are not card holders to come if you want to bring family members or such to help clean up and participate. We'll just have them hang over at the educational center. That's what it's for.
That's right.
So you don't have to feel like you're segregated from your family at all. We can make this a big family event. Bring everyone. Bring your little kids. Little kids love cleaning up.
I think they have to be 12 and older.
Well, I mean,
Yes.
little kids 18, 19. Sorry, I should rephrase that. I'm getting to 32 now where I think everyone's young. I know I'm not that
Anyone
old,
12 and older associated with someone in the club
Yes,
is
there
more
you
than
go.
welcome to come help us out. It's your community too. It's your highway too.
Joining the
Mhm.
potluck
I'd love to see it.
afterwards.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
enjoy a
some
potluck.
food.
Yeah, we had a really nice Italian feast last time.
Yeah, we better. Potluck does not mean we're going to have lots of pot.
No,
It means we're going to have
lots
food.
of food.
Well, I just had someone ask me that last time, what potluck was. Is that something you guys do? And I was like, that's cool, not everyone has been to a potluck. I understand
That's
that.
true.
Hey.
Yes, lots of food and.
So like when you don't
good
take care of your
times.
garden and your meds still turn out good.
Do you have
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
No, that's not it. Not it at all.
Speaking of plants turning out good, I know we yesterday was our first unofficial day, but official day of having testing.
That's right.
First official, unofficial day.
Well, yeah, we didn't really, I
Nice.
didn't really give anyone any warning about the day we were gonna come in, or even talk about that we for sure
Yeah.
picked a place to go with. But we, it's
Surprise!
Yeah, surprise. Well, over the weekend it worked
Look what
out
we
well,
have
and
again.
yeah, I mean I could have waited a few days to get everyone amped up about it. But to be honest with you, I knew there's people that's been asking about testing over and over again to the point where they're like, I'm ready right now. So when you're ready, let me know. I have a sample with me.
For sure.
So yesterday was our first day kicking off. We had quite a few tests actually get put
wonderful.
in. We are working at. We are soon to have our plant lab actually open too, and also the availability of some products that also help you out with your procedures and also proper maintenance of your garden.
Awesome.
Hopefully, with all of these things together, we will have a very solid part of our educational building there, where you can come to and blow your mind pretty much right off the back of your head with all the education you can get, all the knowledge you can pick up, the advice, anything you want to learn about your cannabis, your medicine, your final products, or if you are the bee's knees and already know enough that you can come in and help us learn some more too. I mean, we always are learning. If you are that person, we still have testing, and I know it don't matter how much of a master you are, you still have to do your testing,
Right.
because that's we aren't all testers.
When are the testers coming in? How's that working out for us?
They're doing a pickup. We've done a really good job of communicating back and forth with Iron Labs, and their lab facility is very, very nice. The way with the machines they have, the way they're ran with the techs, the in-house calibrations, and the fact that they're going to be the second certified,
Fully accredited.
lab in the country. The first one's in California right now.
Awesome.
They are on their way being the second one right now. They're going through the procedures, and on top of that, they work pretty much with all the main groups right now in Michigan, which really made me feel cool. You always talk about that big brotherhood of having everyone be family-like in this in this industry, and also as patients, as caregivers, whatever. This is just also helping that. You get more and more people who are starting to sit there and test their meds and be more of a positive influence on setting standards for
Sure,
people
exactly.
and stuff.
And it's also setting a standard that we don't really seem to have right now. Definitely important.
I mean, testing is good. I mean, I know all you guys may be like, I smoke and I know it's good. That's cool, but you guys,
At
you got to
a
think
medicinal
about.
standpoint,
Yeah, we got to think about the same point too. When you go to your doctor and you do get pharmaceutical still, or if you have to go somewhere and buy foods and stuff, at your grocery store like milks and such, or anything that could be turn out to be hazardous or poisonous to you if handled improperly. Or manufactured improperly, you really might not even realize it, but you really do appreciate the fact that there is standards for certain things that we have in our life. And without those standards, you would really be regretting life right now. You'd probably be like Mexico. Our water would be undrinkable. We'd probably be limited to water that's filtered and boiled with bread and basic vegetables, because there wouldn't be no standards for anything. You'd be just eating McDonald's all day, killing yourself with diabeticness.
So back to the testing.
Yeah, sorry. Back to the testing thing, guys.
So there'll be Iron Labs. You can come into the club all day Tuesday.
Tuesday
drop
or
off
Thursday.
your samples
Yep.
Tuesday or Thursday, and a representative from Iron Labs will be coming into our club roughly 5:30 to 6, picking up your samples.
And we will also have them in to answer questions for you also at the same time. When
Wonderful.
they're there, you can
Cool.
feel free to ask questions. They will take your test and they are processed the next day. They're usually all
Awesome.
finalized the next day. And you'll be able to get your results back online by going to Iron Lab's webpage and going right through a Genesee County Compassion Club member profile. Or you can come next door to the plant lab once we get this all rocking out for you in the next couple weeks. And you can sit down and actually go over your test results with someone
Awesome.
there and see what you could do or
Like
tell
how
us what
to,
you
get
did
a better
that was so
percentage,
awesome.
maybe?
You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
There's many avenues that you can use this for. It doesn't have to be just to fix an issue. It can be to improve something or to just to gauge yourself on how well you've already done. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, I'm really excited about it, guys. Sorry I keep going on about my excitement with it, but...
Well, it's a big step for the club.
is.
Something everyone's been asking for.
Yeah.
The return of. Hopefully, we'll have great success and be able to
I feel much better.
have
knowing
much
that
more
yeah,
testing.
knowing the meds that I like to get are tested, and I can see where they're at.
Right.
So I can kind of justify, like, oh, that's why they're so good. You
Right.
know? Kind of makes sense. All right, besides that, though, with the club, what else we got
Besides
going, though? We have no soup kitchen this month.
Nope.
So everyone gets a break on the soup kitchen this month. So next month,
Yep, I think
expect it
it's
to be like,
October 24th. October 24th, I believe.
not Halloween.
That's the 31st.
That's the 30th. Wait, what's the 24th? In November? Wait,
I'm not sure.
what's on the 24th? Anything?
Soup kitchen.
Soup
Sorry,
kitchen.
guys.
Good answer.
There you go. Oh wow, there's like something crawling up my leg,
Really, like a bug?
like something.
No.
Chad might.
A Chad mite.
Yeah.
Where are the nematodes? Gotta get them.
Some nematodes.
Yeah, did you step in your nematodes again?
Man, you know what? They're all over the place, dude.
Oh dear.
You get a few billion of them rocking around, and you're like, wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And what I'm talking about nematodes with our plant lab stuff, we'll be able to advise you and things like that. All organic ways, natural ways to be able to treat, different problems, pests, and different things that you might come across in your growing needs.
Nematodes.
Nematodes are awesome.
They're
Are
not
you
just for your
maybe-
loofah.
No, yeah.
Are you maybe talking about these nematodes in your grow room tech class? Or is
Oh
that
yes, I'll be
maybe
talking
more-
about the Grow 'em Tech class, and that's
That's
actually
top secret info.
Yeah,
Don't
and,
share
and
that.
when we're talking about that's the second Tuesday of October.
Yep, that'll be October 8th.
October 8th. We just actually got that taken care of today. We've had a lot of people sign up for this class.
Yeah, 16 or so people signed up. Should
Oh, yeah.
be a good class.
I know we got a few more interested in it
Everyone
that I've
can
talked
make
to.
Yep, it'll
yeah.
be 2 to 4 if that works for you.
That's awesome for me. 2 to
2 to
4 is
4.
perfect for me. 2 to 4, October 8th.
Sounds good.
We'll go over a lot of stuff, and like I said before, I know we have a lot of people that are more advanced coming to these classes now. After time, it just happens. So, throughout the class, if you have questions, we'll have spots where you can write your things down, and I will try to answer any question, related to the topics and stuff that we're talking about. Even advance more than the class if that's where your standard is. You know what I'm saying? If you already know something and you want to come in and you have specific questions, that's cool. I'm cool with that. I like the new questions and the challenges on top of whatever happened in the class. So,
Cool.
yeah, it's
The
like a
more
game.
questions, the
Bring it
merrier,
home.
really.
It is. It's fun. I always help people out. You know what I'm saying? You have a good class. Jeremy can vouch for this. You have a good class. We have people come to it, and they ask their questions. They get involved, and then when they all leave, they're all like talking about, like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, I've been wondering about this for a few months, and they start mingling. If you come to class and you don't ask the questions or participate, you really only absorb so much. I mean, I want to know what you guys really want to know, and that's by you guys asking us stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
Help us. Help
Help
you.
us help you. There we go.
Please.
We have to. Hey, so a lot of people, especially with growing, they have a lot of specific questions that really pertain to them.
It
And
sounds like an 80s song. Like, I want to know what you want to know.
help me, help you, help myself with you too.
With your grow
Room.
I want to know
tech,
what
Yeah.
you want to know.
I want to know how to string my lights.
Break it down, Foxy Lady.
I could keep going, but let's
John in
talk
the
about
background,
some.
hit the drums.
Let's get into some medical marijuana news.
Yes.
Jeremy,
Right
we have,
on.
We have a lot of news right now, right?
Right on.
There's a lot going on all
Yeah.
over the country, really. There's a lot going on in Michigan right now.
That's what I heard.
Jeremy, if you want to start it off.
No.
No? Sure you do.
I do, but I don't.
All right. I'll send.
It's just only because of the fact that some of the news here is just.
It's not very happy or
It's not happy
encouraging.
news. Yeah,
no,
sometimes.
it's really kind of discouraging.
But there is some good news coming around, though, too. I mean, from some of these cases, I know a lot of them are starting to get through there, and I've heard through different grapevines some of these cases that we've been talking about in Michigan. A few of them are starting to get put through the loop now, where they're having proper protocols going for different things like testing in different areas, where there's supposed to be some movement going around with some of these cases. So I heard that. I'm not saying there's anything good or bad, but I heard there is some stuff in it, and to me it kind of sounds like positive movements going on with some of the stuff going on. Yes.
I'll have to look into that. Most of our news today is not so.
Yeah, well, you guys want to
I think some of the more positive
now.
movements have been more like out of state.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
D.C., for example.
Good point. Washington, D.C., they have a councilman there, David Grosso, sorry.
Yep,
I apologize.
Also, yeah.
He introduced a bill that would legalize marijuana for adults 21 and over, limited amounts, and sales also. So it's a straight-up legalization bill introduced right there in the capital of the nation, Washington, D.C.
Nice.
It'll remove criminal civil penalties for people with an ounce or less. So similar to some of the other legislation that we've seen, this has been introduced. We talked a little bit about that this following week, but it's now actually official and has been introduced. The other one was, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Do you have anything to add on that?
I believe that was Tommy Wells with the decriminalization, and Councilman Grosso added legislation to tax and regulate that same bill, I believe. So they're kind of working together. So.
Well.
But yeah, they're trying to tax it, regulate it more like alcohol for the 21 and over as well. So that's wonderful. They want to follow what Colorado and Washington have already accomplished. And what better place to do that, to implement that in our nation's capital, should set precedents for our federal government and the Department of Justice to really.
I think it's so interesting that, just right there, they already have a medical marijuana bill that was passed, or law that was passed in D.C. a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. They've had a decrim measure there before, and now they've got a legalization thing. It's so interesting to me that right there in the nation's capital, and, Washington, D.C. is its own district, obviously the name, but what an oxymoron, you know what I mean? That right there in the capital, you've got this, clear movement forward in medical marijuana and marijuana in general, and yet the people that, most of the people you figure there probably have jobs that have to do with working for the federal government, whether it be, actually working in government, or maybe they're custodial services. It doesn't matter. I mean, a lot of related people there, and it's just what a big oxymoron. And I gotta believe that, some of these people that work in our nation's capital, reside in the city of D.C. And so you could potentially have, federal government employees, congressmen even, that would be, on one hand condoning the current policies and laws that we have, but then they go home to their apartment, or whatever, that while they're, and they fire one up legally, and
it's a do as I say, not as I do situation. Like, in a sense, it's silly.
Have you ever heard the saying about D.C., like, this is in no way offensive, it's just what I've heard before. D.C., a lot of people, like, I've had friends that live in Hollywood and stuff, and they call D.C. the Hollywood for unattractive people. Because of the power, because of the lifestyle, because of the money. What makes them unattractive? Well, there's just, most you're I don't know, they're pretty much saying
conservative suits.
They're just pretty much saying that most of your politicians are like your old guys. They're like, big glasses and stuff by the time they're 80 and, politicians. And they're just comparing that. They still live the lifestyle with the money, the jets, taking these Ferraris and the women and stuff. They have all that, but it's just different than.
No, that's the Secret Service.
That's right.
I've actually heard that quite a few times though. People refer to that, like DC is like the Hollywood for unattractive people.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty rough in DC, I hear. I've never been. I would love to go.
Yeah, high crime rate city. It's always on, one of those violent lists that we see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunate event happened this past week in DC as well.
Very unfortunate.
Yep. Naval Yard shooting.
Oh yeah.
12 people dead.
Clips on that.
13
very sad.
people. Yeah. So it was very sad day.
So keep all those people in your thoughts, as you will, families and friends that are affected by that, of course. On a more positive note, Colorado. Denver was the first city to set up their own regulatory scheme, if you will.
That's awesome.
For legalized sales of cannabis. So I know a lot of the other municipalities and cities, towns across Colorado were waiting for Denver to sort of be the lead on this. They've taken the lead, and it looks like they're already ready to pass some of their proposed legislation or regulations for how they're going to go about handling the legalized sale of cannabis there in the city.
And does it outline at all what their plans are?
I believe it does, and it also has a certain board that will handle the monitoring and regulation of it. So looks like they're moving forward, and I think that's pretty positive considering like some of the other states, for example, New Jersey, where you have the governor who continues to keep dragging his feet on the program. I think Arizona was another one that was similar, where there's a law that was passed, and then 3-4 years later, people still don't have access to cannabis, even though they voted for it.
Right, what's the point? Where's our money going?
Well, and people are frustrated because they're waiting to get medication. They're hoping that this could be, what they're looking for, and yet they can't get access to it. They have the legal right to get it, but yet it's just not anywhere to be found. And it's due to the fact that the administration has, held things up, whether in the processing of it or in the regulation of it, so that there may be individuals or groups out there that want to be able to produce and distribute, but they feel that they can't move forward until they have the steps from said authorities to tell them how to do it, or how they're going to be regulated. And they certainly don't want to go forward, get something started up, only to turn around and find out, oh, well, you're not going to be allowed to operate in that fashion. So definitely throws up a problem for these folks that are really dependent or needed on this medication. So but Colorado stepping up there, the city of Denver, not fooling around by any means, and asked to be the lead in the situation and has taken it. So
Good
I
job,
think the
Denver.
board there, city board in Denver, deserves to be commended for that. I think not just because it's a marijuana thing, but because of the fact that oftentimes with people in leadership who are supposed to take the ball, to set the example, and they just shy away from it, for fear of the fact that maybe they won't get voted in next time, or public opinion isn't going to be in their favor if they choose this side or don't choose another side. And I think that we need to have strong leadership in those bodies of government, especially at the local levels, because that's where it really impacts folks' lives.
Sure.
So that's definitely a good thing there.
Yeah, definitely a good thing.
I think that also, just same note there, I know that they had a big parade or whatever in their city park in Denver, and one of the board members of the city of Denver had made a comment on this, but they had this big rally and everything. People were out there, yay, legalize weed, and they're out there smoking weed in the city park. And I think that we have to take things into account, be responsible, and certainly set the stage for how this is going to be taken care of. I know people get excited and so forth. I can only imagine what it's like out there in Colorado right now. But same thing like with alcohol. Usually in public venues, there's a certain area where alcohol is permitted to be sold and consumed, and then outside of that, it's pretty much, hey, need to calm down. We don't really want that around our children. Certainly don't want people misbehaving and so forth. I think cannabis consumers could take a note from that and save themselves some headaches by just being simply responsible with their use.
Sure.
So.
You don't need to really parade it around quite that way. Do it maybe a bit more professionally. Maybe
just being courteous, I think, is a real key there. And especially in that situation where it's legalized, everybody's got their hands on it now and everyone's all excited. Well, great, but you should still be courteous.
Sure.
And I think we could say that across a lot of different types of groups.
We don't want to be a nuisance, do we? As we're usually defined as. Nuisance.
All right, I know we had some other news, though, that maybe wasn't quite as exciting, but nonetheless all important.
Sure, we've got this baby Bree in update. Couple in Michigan had their 6-month-old daughter taken from them by Child Protective Services. I believe the father is a multiple sclerosis patient, and I'm not quite sure the extent of the CPS case. I know there was a rally in Lansing yesterday or Monday. Yesterday, in regards to this CPS pulling your children from your homes because you are a patient or a caregiver through the state of Michigan is definitely crossing a red line, as lots of people across the state agree with. And I don't really think you have to be necessarily a patient or a caregiver to see the spiral effect of this. Taking your kids away from you is not certainly going to help your condition.
No.
And I don't.
So if they're gonna do that, they might as well take away the kids from the parents who use like Vicodin and stuff.
Vicodin or the drinkers who drink every night when they come
mainly
home.
Prescription pills, though. Because those kids, aren't they abusing them? Aren't they getting them from their parents? Isn't that what I hear about schools?
Well, as far as I know prescription drug use
Taken from their parents' cabinets.
yes, it starts at
Yes.
home.
So we need to start a new rally to take all the kids away
And
from
I do
parents who
believe
use
though
prescription pills.
that is
Phew.
what they're kind of correlating this with. Like your medical marijuana use is the same as the prescription drug.
Well, then they need
use
to take
from
away
your
all the
kids.
kids then.
But I don't see how.
I mean, they're not going to. I'm just
Patients
being
of the
sarcastic
state,
here.
right? Patients of the state don't need their children taken from them.
Not at all. Especially not for being a patient. I mean, it's a state program. The state's giving you a license to do this. This isn't like you're breaking laws, like you're going against some making up your own program. Like, oh no, I'm just smoking marijuana because I want to, or growing because I want to. You've been approved by the state.
Right. This is your medical condition, and you have every right.
They don't take away your kids when you get your driver's license.
No, they don't do that.
Because it could be in danger. I mean, if you get in a car accident, you could possibly kill your kids.
And that's really bizarre about all this is going to put a kid in the foster care system.
Yeah.
The foster care
Well,
system's
I know right
horrible.
now she's with her grandmother, so
Alright,
at least
that's
she's
cool.
In a family situation.
That's better than a foster
which
home,
is
for sure.
certainly better than a foster
I'm certainly they do
situation.
that. I'm
But
But
Yeah.
still,
right,
I mean, I'm
surely
sure-
they'll be investigating that further.
Oh, yeah, they're.
But I'm sure the mom and the father, they're probably just devastated the whole time missing their daughter.
I mean,
Absolutely.
well, they're equating weed, marijuana, whatever you want to call it, with like heroin. I mean,
Right.
there's a big difference between the.
From what I understand, the father, Mr. Green, has even quit using his medication in order to prevent the CPS workers from taking their child.
So you're gonna go to the suburbs and start grabbing
So-
people up when the kids have mom and dad has 2 or 3 martinis so they can handle the kids coming home each day. I mean,
Right.
this is bizarre.
So there's a line that's been crossed, and we really need to get to the bottom of this and see what we can do.
Can we sue for harassment?
Oh, surely, lots of lawyers and activists are all over this right now.
I mean, you
that's
have
for
to.
sure.
I mean, you can't just...
I know they had Thomas Levine, prominent
Yes.
attorney, spoke on this. Also, I believe Representative Irwin made comment to this particular scenario, and I have been, from reading in the paper there, I noticed that they were granted an emergency hearing by a judge to be reviewed on Friday.
That's
So
good.
they'll have their court case reviewed and decide whether or not the children should be allowed to be back in the home of these parents here. It's kind of interesting that there's a specific section in the law that talks about the fact that parents, should not have to worry about their children being taken away because of the fact that they now have this ability to have medical marijuana,
Sure.
in their system and in their home. Obviously, we don't want to see children being exposed to marijuana smoke or having access to the medication similar to having access to prescription medication
Sure.
as well. One of the interesting comments that we noticed in this case was the judge had cited the probability or possibility of someone breaking into the home because there was marijuana in the home and how that was presenting a potential danger to the children.
Well, the same would go for having big screen TVs then, if you want to talk about breaking into your homes.
Yeah.
If anyone has a big screen TV, someone could very well.
It's certainly going out on a limb to try to establish some type of credibility to the dangerous part of the situation the judge is referring to. We don't know what other factors play in this case, but it certainly is not a good one when we're talking about having children being removed from their parents. And I think is also interesting in the law. There's a section talking about where we have single parents, and it even says that they would not be subject to having their rights, visitation removed or anything being endangered in that regard to having the parents having access to the children because they're a patient, provided that the children aren't in the vicinity of the marijuana and so forth. So, certain rules and limits that have to be allowed or followed, but provided that these are being done, then there's a guarantee in the law that parents should not have to worry about having their children removed from their home because they're a patient or a caregiver for that matter.
Sure.
And so this is definitely a heart-wrenching case here that we want to see some resolution to, and we'll keep you posted as to what happens. But I know that the call for action right now is free Bree.
Yeah, free Bree and bring her home.
And I don't know about you guys. I mean, I don't have kids, but if I had kids and caregiving or going for myself, whatever, aren't kids dirty and filthy? Like, why would your kids ever be near? Why would they ever be anywhere near your vicinity of like your plants? I mean, not being mean, I'm not saying I don't like kids. I like kids, but they carry a lot of germs.
He just thinks they're dirty and filthy.
Well, they're outside all day in the mud and dirt, playing with dead animals and live animals and climbing up trees and stuff.
That's why you don't have children.
Well, that's why you don't let them near your grows either. You know what I'm saying? Same with dogs. You don't let your dog in your grow room. So I'm assuming a lot of these people out there who do have kids and do that, they probably follow that same thing. Like, they don't just parade their kids to the grow room. Probably they're the only person in the whole facility that even goes near their plants. You know, if they're doing it properly, like usually you don't even let your family members or anyone come near it because they could be outside with bacteria, molds, or or bugs. I don't know. That's just me. Like,
well, and I don't. That was certainly not the case in this scenario. I don't even know that the greens are growers or patients that possess. I think they're just simply having medication in the home. Was the
and that's
what the judge
big
is
deal.
referring
Just
to.
about the medicine.
Yeah, and CPS. I know their comments was we take strong. I don't remember the exact quote, but it's something like they take a strong look at anything involving prescription or non-prescription drugs. So they kind of go with a blasé statement there, trying to sort of woo away from the marijuana part of it. But
so they go to everyone's house that they know has prescriptions to CVS and Rite Aid. Then.
Well, I know Sharmi Golson is doing an interview with Fox 2 News about children of medical marijuana patients. So look forward to seeing that on the news. She's very involved in this.
So if you have anything and you're watching and you have a situation that you're questioning about, like, she is a very good contact to get a hold of Michigan for stuff pertaining to children and medical marijuana laws.
Sure.
I know she's been very active with a lot of lawyers. I know she's done a lot of personal stuff with family members and such that she helps out. So
sure.
Yeah.
Really great activist for the
the
cause, for sure. Families. Let's see, what else do we have here?
Yes.
I know the moratorium in Davison has expired for dispensaries, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how well that would go for a dispensary in Davison. I think they're still pretty anti-marijuana. But
I think are they renewing their moratorium, or is it just that it was up?
Well, they it was up to expire in May. They voted on it. The let me see here. Councilman, I guess, city council members voted in May to keep the moratorium in place until state and federal officials provided more clarity on medical marijuana dispensaries. But since then, their moratorium has expired. So.
Nice.
I don't believe they plan on renewing it.
Yeah, you know what, people...
and they're just going to go along with the state law.
I did see the comments on that, and it looked like they said that they were referring to their enforcement would be abiding by state and federal law.
That's right.
And I noticed that they threw in and federal.
Yep.
Right.
So I would have to believe that it's Davison Township.
Right.
Is not looking to sort of open up the floodgates by letting the moratorium expire. They're just simply done dealing with the issue for now, and feel that they don't need to have a moratorium in order to not have businesses in their area.
This says here, Davison Councilmember Paul Hammond said the board has decided not to pass an ordinance, quote, because if we pass an ordinance, some federal lawyer could come along and sue us based on the guidelines. If there's any argument, it's between the state and federal government, not the city of Davison. Grand Blanc is also reviewing its policy with the 6-month moratorium expiring last month. So, wait and see what'll happen.
I wouldn't expect any businesses to be
popping up anytime
soon
No,
in the
certainly not.
Davison Township area.
No.
So.
Let's see, Clayton Township and Flushing have already put regulations in place for marijuana dispensaries. Flushing Police Chief Mark Hornstra, correct me if I'm wrong. See your police chief?
Yes.
Hornstra.
Mm-hmm.
He said the city has an ordinance noting compliance with the state's medical marijuana laws, but it also regulates dispensaries with a zoning ordinance that requires a special use permit for such facilities to operate in the general business area with no visible signs. So they're in a sense allowing it perhaps, but to be as inconspicuous as possible.
Well, the place they put it that you can do it at, there's no buildings available. And
Oh.
And there's also no way because you got Kroger and Rite Aid and CVS and AutoZone and
Just buy out Kroger.
yeah. Well, there is a bank that's under business right now, and it's right there. It actually is a solid brick building. It'd be actually pretty sweet. If anyone's watching and wanted to put a dispensary in Flushing, that's probably your best bet right there. There's a bank right across the street from Kroger's that has not been used for about 5 years now, and it's actually a sweet bank. Like, it's a multi-level bank. You can see the stairs from the outside, and that's all in the inside. From both corners, it goes down 2 and 3 levels, I think, all together. Pretty sweet.
Well, at least they have some means for someone to try if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Sure, as
And,
well as
Special use permit.
There you
Swartz
go.
Creek as well. So that's a.
I'm sure those
I
are
think
stand-
Sports Creek was also by permit too.
Yep,
Is that
they
right?
have to get approval from the city attorney, which helps cut down on the constantly evolving law at the state and local,
He's
state
probably-
and federal level.
I'm sure he's
so.
really apt to the law.
I'm sure.
Well, I think
never
that's
know,
what
though.
we were talking about before. Is cities, local government officials, they don't want to take the lead in this because of the fact that they're worried about repercussions. Repercussions from people on a voting level, and then also being sued.
Federal level, right.
So it's certainly a big concern. It's an area where they don't really want to put their city or their job at risk. And I think they're trying to do the best job that they can, but it can be a difficult situation when you have people on both sides of the story wanting their everybody wanting their say,
Right.
and obviously you can't keep everybody happy. So
Sure.
interesting there. We'll keep you posted.
Yeah. Plus,
And-
I'm not really sure if there will be necessarily dispensaries anymore either. Aren't they all going to have to be provisioning centers?
Well, it would depend
We'll have
on
to see.
future legislation there.
Sure.
Yep.
And we'll be attending a future conference, the Shareholders Conference, Part 2 on the Provisioning Center Bill. That's House Bill 4271 with Michael Colton down in Lansing, October 2nd.
Representative Colton.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll keep you posted on that
Keep
too.
you posted on what they have to say. Hopefully they have some changes to their laws, outlining a few things a bit more. Give us a better idea of what they're trying to do throughout the state. It's not outlined so great right now, so we'll bring you back some good news, we hope.
Yes.
And I believe Iron Labs will be there too, again, talking about how the labs will be running in the provisioning center. So
Testing facility.
testing 101.
All right, we got some fun stuff we wanted to share with you today.
Do we?
Yes. I think we had is that it for news? I can't handle anymore.
I'm not sure. That's enough news if you'd like.
I know that we had a list here from MPP.org.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
the
fun stuff.
50 most influential pot smokers, and this is
Yeah.
not to be confused with people that are necessarily pot
Activists.
advocates. They're
Right.
not. They're just people that are influential that have smoked pot.
Nice.
So kind of funny there. Number one on the list is President Obama,
Naturally.
as he has testified that he did inhale.
My brother Barack Obama, yeah.
The president,
The president, yeah.
Yes.
Peace Prize winner. Maybe that helped him create that peace. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Who
So,
knows?
Oprah Winfrey was number 2 on the list.
That's my fine,
Oprah.
sexy lady right there.
She has testified also. She's smoked the reefer, and certainly hasn't held her back in her
Oprah,
career.
really?
Yeah.
When, Oprah? When? I wonder. On the air?
Back in the days, we used to kick it.
Of course, number 3 on the list, former President Bill Clinton.
Not my homeboy.
Naturally.
He didn't inhale, so I don't know how he made this list.
Not sure either.
He just puffed it. He's got that whole cigar thing. So
He didn't do a lot of things he says he didn't do. Or he-
True.
True that.
He's like, I swear to God, I didn't do it.
Ooh, number 4 is good.
Yeah, look how that turned out. They had the evidence for him on him on that. Well, on somebody else, but that's his mark on history, by the way.
Yeah, that could have got there in many different ways besides the way that she said it.
but we're talking about
Okay.
his smoking.
Yes. The
Oh, yes,
reefer.
yes, yes.
His reefer man.
I know it's hard not to get confused on that.
Ah, yes.
What's number 4, Chelsea?
Number 4 is Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas.
That's
Look at
right.
that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Let's see, what does it say about him?
I think he makes good decisions. He goes home, he's like, man, these people motherfuckers are crazy today. I'm going to take a couple hits and
I
do some
know,
judge stuff.
I know when I pulled this up on the computer, it had little quotes on what they said to get them on this list. I can't seem to pull it up on my phone.
Yeah, I don't see it on there either for that.
That's a bummer.
Number 5 is Stephen Colbert.
Stephen Colbert.
Of course.
I don't think they all have quotes on there. Jon Stewart's right behind him, number 6.
And how did Jon Stewart get behind him?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I mean, no offense, I like Stephen Colbert, but it's like Jon Stewart kind of like paved the pathway for him. You got to give him the props.
I suppose.
He's been doing weed gigs forever.
Mr. Jay-Z coming in at number 7.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Illuminati
see.
coming in right there.
And right after him, John Kerry.
John Kerry.
At
Now,
number
John Kerry's
8.
cool.
The
but-
wealthiest member of the U.S. Senate. he can afford the ganj.
Yes.
Thanks to ketchup.
That's because he makes his decisions on business after smoking a big ass.
Is he a
blunt.
Heinz ketchup heir?
I believe his wife is.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right. He married into it. Didn't
Yeah,
he?
he married into the
That's
ketchup.
right.
Yeah, he studied hard, worked hard, and married well. That's
There you go. That's one way to do it.
I like that tomato.
Next guy made his own money, George Soros.
Nice.
Partly our laws and
Really?
thanks to Mr. Soros. He is one of the big sponsors here for MPP's input
Yes.
for our state law.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely a wealthy man there.
Wait,
And
what does he own though? Isn't it something? He owns a lot of stuff. I know.
He
But
owns a
wasn't-
lot of stuff.
Wasn't he known for something particular?
Oh, I see.
Sorry.
You have to hit the see the entire list.
Oh.
George Soros says he said he had tried marijuana, enjoyed it, but it did not become a habit, and I have not tasted it in many years. Apparently, but Bill Maher, is that right? How do I say that?
Mar,
Bill
Mayor.
Bill
The
Maher.
HBO show guy. Now he's got his
Yeah.
own news show guy.
He's coming in at number 10. And I quote, "Look, I have never made a secret of the fact that I've tried marijuana about 50,000 times. You go, Bill Maher. You go.
Mayor. Ma Mayor.
Maher."
Ma Mayor.
See, you notice this too. You got the Illuminati with Jay-Z. Now you got the Bilderberg with Bill Gates.
These are
Sorry.
people that smoked weed, Chad.
I know.
Hey, you're ringing.
It just shows that weed is that influential.
Bill Gates, number 11. Number 12, George Bush. I like his quote.
Yes.
It says, "I wouldn't answer the marijuana questions. You know why? Because I don't want some little kid doing what I tried." So thank you for answering that in a non-answer.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Hey, at least he answered it.
That's true. Sort of.
Governor Cuomo says he experimented when he was a youth.
Wait, the Mexican dude?
I don't think
I don't
he's
think he's Mexican. I
Oh.
think he's
probably Italian.
Italian. He's,
Oh, sorry. I can't. These glasses make everyone look darker. No offense. They really do. They're like tinted.
You
so-
don't think so?
There you go. Well, now he looks more okay.
All right, next one.
Senator Rand Paul coming in at 14.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And that's not Ron Paul. Don't get it confused.
And 15, Sanjay Gupta. Quote, "I have tried it."
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Unquote.
We gotta back up to Senator Rand Paul. This
Yeah,
quote
what
here
is this?
is kind of interesting. He says, according to this woman who requested anonymity because of her current job as a clinical psychologist, he and Randy came to my house. They knocked on my door, and then they blindfolded me, tied me up, and put me in a car. They took me to their apartment and tried to force me to take bong hits. They'd been smoking pot.
What?
This is this is from Senator Rand Paul.
Dude, that's like a total Bill
That's
Bill
from
Clinton right
GQ
there.
magazine as well. So
That's,
That's like a Bill Clinton.
that's
I got sworn to have
worse.
sexual
quite the
relations
that's
with
quite the excuse for
Yeah,
smoking weed.
really? They
Yeah.
abducted you and made you hit that bong, huh?
They
I
broke
guess
so
so.
many laws doing that.
guess
Like,
so.
yeah, throw your friends on the bus, huh?
There you
Yeah.
go.
I wonder if his friends got in trouble for that. Like,
Naturally.
All right, number 16, LeBron James.
yeah.
Says he and his teammates smoked one night after getting access to a hotel room in Akron. Obviously, being an active NBA player, he has to keep it on a down low.
Right.
Doesn't want to get fined. Number 17, Rush Limbaugh.
Wow.
Says he wouldn't been able to make it through hundreds of shows if it weren't for the benefits of medical marijuana.
Yeah.
That and a lot of pills.
Yeah,
So hopefully he was able to get off the pills and just use the cannabis.
Right.
I think that's what he's hitting
Come
at,
on
right?
George Clooney. He's on the list as well. I did not know that he owns his own cannabis cafe. Or maybe I got this other
No.
way around. Maybe it's the owner of a cannabis cafe said George Clooney was no stranger there.
Oh. Darn. I almost got very excited.
Yeah.
George Clooney
Let's go
owning a
tomorrow.
cafe. All right.
Let's go.
What's the next one there?
Mayor Michael Bloomberg coming in at number 19. He
Yeah.
says, "You bet I did, and I enjoyed it."
Oh, wait. Okay,
It's
the next
awesome.
one. How in the hell did...
I'm not sure how she could
The
be that.
gigs. Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
She smokes it when she writes her music, everyone. It's wonderful.
I would have thought her
news.
music would have been better.
No kidding. That's not what we want to hear. And let's see, 21.
No, wait. She went above Brad Pitt.
I know.
Come on. Sorry, I didn't mean to give it away right there, but
Right, Brad
I
Pitt
saw
at
that and I'm like,
21.
what the hell? Throw Brad Pitt on the bus.
I have
after
a pretty
Fight Club?
twisted view on how people are influential in this world. I mean, I can
Yeah.
understand Barack Obama being a very influential person. He's obviously president of the United States. But Lady Gaga coming in at number 20, and then,
Smoking Brad Pitt.
yeah, Brad Pitt's 21.
Brad Pitt's like adopted child from
And
every
then
country in
Ted
the world.
Turner after her.
It's pretty
Come on.
influential.
And that's what I'm saying. You know, Ted Turner becoming at 22. I mean, people don't think of Ted Turner maybe as being all that influential, but he does own one of the major TV networks. It's certainly able to put out a lot of influence.
He
when you-
pays Lady Gaga to be on,
Own.
on one of their TV channels once in a while. Like he's like, here, let me throw you some pocket change to come on my channel.
Pocket pot.
Yeah, here's some lint and $1,000 bills here.
Number
Going away.
23 is Tom Brokaw.
Awesome.
Number 24, Michael Phelps,
That's
although he
right.
firmly
Nice.
denies that he
Actually,
took
you know
drugs.
what? Michael Phelps, like Steve Aoki. If you guys listen to a lot of like house music and stuff, Steve Aoki is a huge DJ. Him, Little John, and Michael Phelps have been touring all over the world. They're like super good friends.
So he's touring with Little John, and he doesn't smoke the reefer.
Oh, he smokes, I'm sure. Like there's been pictures of him all over.
He's
the
still
pools.
denying that he smokes,
still
though.
denying that,
Got to
yeah.
keep the medals and the sponsorships.
I know, but come on, Michael. It's time to just say, you know what? Screw it. I've had these medals long enough. Let me get some diamond out ones. Trade those things in and go buy yourself some blinged out ones to replace them. Be like, you know what? Who cares?
It's a good idea.
I'm still faster than you are.
He could make like a bulletproof vest out of all of his medals.
Yeah.
He's
That'd
got
be
so many.
awesome.
He's just like,
He's
all right.
probably going to have like neck problems from wearing
What
all
he
of
should
them.
do is he should admit, like, he should be like, you know what? I smoke pot.
Or from
and if you
swimming,
want these
so
medals back,
fierce.
and you can catch me in the pool, you can have them.
That's the problem is they probably take his medals if he said he smoked.
You gotta
weed.
catch me in the pool first.
Do a Armstrong to him.
I do think, though, that cannabis is being allowed in the next Winter Olympics.
I thought they were looking at those as like a steroid, though.
I think it's something to do with off-season testing.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's.
I don't think that it's
well,
allowed.
What does off-season testing have to do
Hold on a
with
second, I
it?
gotta do this half
So
time.
it's okay if they do it off-season, but when they're, I don't see how that makes a much of a
Yeah,
difference.
I know that the Olympic Council is pretty strict. So.
I know Cher just turned down an offer to be at the Olympics.
Did you see the
because of
figure skaters, like-
anti-gay issues in Russia? It's pretty tragic.
Yeah, she is like the gay spokeswoman around
Yes.
the world, or the spokesperson,
Uh-huh.
I should say, for the world.
Yes.
All right, we got
All right, coming in.
Jennifer Aniston coming in at 25.
Lady Gaga beat her.
David Letterman at 26. Morgan Freeman. He's the
Wait,
man.
wait. Morgan Freeman's that far down the list.
Yeah, but
He has
his
influenced me in
quote's
many things in my
probably
life.
the best one ever.
You've watched more influential shows in your life that he, like, what do you call it?
Say it in your best Morgan
narrated.
Freeman voice right now.
I can't do it because no one has a suave voice like he
No
does.
kidding.
Morgan Freeman is the man.
And he quotes, "Never give up the ganja.
Yep.
Don't do it."
All right, Angelina Jolie, number
Martha,
28.
yeah. Martha Stewart, 29.
How is Martha Stewart in? Right, was that? Never mind.
Who knows? Who wrote this list? Seth MacFarlane.
Now he is
at
influential in his
30,
cartoons. You'd
but
be
he doesn't smoke
surprised.
much pot anymore. Let's see about that.
Number 31, Governor
Jevner.
John Hickenlooper.
The
Wow.
Wow, what a name. John Hickenlooper. Andrew Sullivan coming in at 32.
Susan Sarandon at 33.
Probably the ASPCA.
Conan O'Brien. Matt Damon. Says Matt Damon's quote was, "The first time I smoked was at home with my mother and stepfather."
Nice.
Tell you what, that's very interesting.
Number 35.
36 is Governor Lincoln Chaffee.
All right, now I really am just kind of like, I feel bad for society. Whoever picked this list, I can't believe you put this lady on 37. I'll let them
No
say it.
kidding. 37, Maya Angelou.
but for real, Lady Gaga before her.
And right below her, Justin Bieber,
Come on, guys.
who apologized for it.
Oh my lord, I can't really believe
And then,
that.
of course, there's Governor Sarah Palin.
And she's on the list too.
Yep, she says, "I can't claim Bill
that
Clinton
Dr.
and
Phil?
say that I never inhaled."
Phil
so-
Jackson.
Oh, all right.
Sorry.
No,
Next
that's
one.
quite all right. 40, Phil Jackson, yeah.
Yeah.
40.
Johnny Depp coming in at 41. Other celebrity media, Madonna at 42. Robert Downey Jr. We know he's tried just about everything. Number 43. Bryan
Bad.
Cranston. Sorry. Yes.
I feel like Breaking Bad. He made the list.
I think we'll skip number 45. She doesn't count.
Good old Huey on 46. Hugh Hefner, the Hef.
The Hef.
Hugh Hefner's probably smoked the most exotic joints out of all.
He
of
says smoking helped put me in touch with the realm of the senses. Right.
them. Sure, sir. Like
Right.
It's all about the
2019.
senses there.
Yes.
We have Rihanna coming in at 47. Oliver Stone coming in at 48.
Nice.
Nice. Let's see. Rick Steves, 49, and of course,
Snoop Lion.
Snoop Lion at 50. Wonderful.
His birthday party's coming up in October.
Oh yeah, is he coming to the
No,
club?
you gotta go to L.A.
Oh,
or Anaheim. I'm sorry, Anaheim, California.
Anaheim.
But they're taking pre-reservations.
Oh, how much
Yeah,
does
really.
that cost?
Dude,
You know you've made it when you charge people to come to your birthday party. You're like, no. Of course you have to bring a present, but you have to pay
Oh my
and
gosh.
get on a list to come to my birthday party.
that's when you know you made it.
All right,
In
had some one more thing I want to share with you guys this week here. This is the strongest strains on Earth according to High Times. Very interesting.
Oh,
So we'll go through these quickly. At number 1, head cheese.
head cheese.
Head cheese.
I like head cheese.
I'm at 24.79 THC.
Nice.
So definitely like to pay attention to the numbers here. We've been talking about testing.
Yeah.
We've seen cannabis in the Compassion Club be tested out over 20% numerous times. So you guys are
At
testament
23.2.
to how good of growers some of you guys are out there here in Michigan. The caregivers here really put a lot into their craft, and so you guys are right up there. That was number 1. Number 2, Matt's OG. It's 24.1. So
Yeah,
it's
man.
also interesting to me. All these are listed out at THC. Like to see some of the
Yeah,
other
some
cannabinoid
CBD.
profiles,
Mm-hmm.
and what are the totals too. Super Lemon Haze coming in at 22.64.
Nice. That's a good
Nice.
strain.
Let's see here.
I keep looking at it, it's like, well, that makes some great concentrate.
Larry OG
Yeah.
coming in
Good
just
old
over
Larry.
21%.
Nice.
21.3. The Boost.
The boost.
Is that made after the phone company? Boost?
I don't know. Or maybe it means it's stolen.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just over 20%, 20.7. And I think, obviously High Times here is trying to get just a bit of a variety here for you as these numbers continue to go down.
I
We've
like
seen
that,
quite a few
though.
other ones. So
I like how they're being realistic and showing strains, because a lot of strains out there you get, like Kushes and certain other strains out there, are not meant to be like these 24, 23, 22 percenters. Averages for a lot of stuff is like in the 18, 19, 20 percentile range. The hybrids, that's the reason they do hybrids, is so you can have these higher percentages. So when you start straying more towards the hybrids, yeah, they do have these high percentages, but then you also find out more and more too, it's a lot of times the terpenes, some of the different acids, and some of the different essential oils that come on the plant that are differ from the THC, that are also beneficial in many ways, from not just being like psychedelic but also medicinal. And yeah, some of the other ones can be psychedelic too. People forget that THC is not the only, or THCA is not the only one that you need. There's the V out there, which a lot of strains don't really have any at all, and it's supposed to be like a psychedelic.
Well, I would like to see a list of low THC, high CBD strains.
Yeah, and they're coming around too. I know Iron Labs, actually, speaking of the testing we had earlier, I know there's some of the techs there, they've been working on specific strains, and they have their own strain through Iron Labs called Star Tonic, and it is a 3/4 CBD and 20, and a quarter THC, and they've been working on that and working with cancer patients.
Cool.
And doing testing on it and everything. So big props to them on the Star Tonic. I hear a lot about it.
Cool.
I actually hear more people starting to get it throughout the state and starting to put their spin on it with how their growing style and everything, and making these high CBD strains come out.
we have a lot of patients out there now that are looking for strains that are going to be able to provide them, either muscle relief, nerve relief, pain relief, and they don't want the high. They want to be
Yeah.
able to function.
Yep.
Or they've never been high and they don't want to be high. So strains that have those other types of cannabinoids in there are also equally valuable as to the ones that you see on publications such as High Times. Of course, this is a magazine called High Times, so you have to take that into consideration, usually typically for recreational purposes. But it's always interesting to see the different strains out there, find out what the different ones are available. This one here is called Dog's Waltz,
Dogs.
just 19.7.
Nice.
Another one, Master Yoda at
Nice.
22.4.
That looks good.
Tahoe OG Kush coming in at 22%. We've seen this one here before. Yogi Diesel, 21.7.
Nice.
Let's see, we got some other ones here. Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies coming in at 21.2. It's a big hit
one.
See,
all
we're so
around.
fond of these.
Thin Mints, yes.
Yes, that
The
one is
XJ13 crossed with Cracker Jack is 20.5.
Cracker Jack.
Yeah, Blackberry coming in at 20.1. Cactus. This is an interesting one. I haven't seen this before. 20.15.
You know, I have heard of that before.
It's a
I have
pretty looking
seeds for
strain.
that, actually.
Do you?
Yes, and they were
Can
from
I
an
have
old
one?
timer in a mix of things that I've never, ever thought about growing. It sounded like such a weird strain.
I'm going to try it out now.
I haven't.
All right.
Wow.
Here's
Cacti.
Cobra.
Cobra.
I don't know if it's after
Like
the snake
Cobra
or the
Kush.
movie.
King Cobra.
Straight up Cobra. Well, it could be like
Just
Cobra,
like
you
that.
know, like Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah,
He's
that was
like,
awesome. That was the
Hopefully
best
not.
movie ever he
Just
did.
saying, hopefully
He
not.
says
hot
something
rod.
like, you know, crime's a disease, and I'm the cure.
Eat that pizza with the biggest.
Here's a strain we've seen in the club: San Fernando Valley OG Kush.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Coming in at 23%
Nice.
THC, so very
Very
strong, very potent. Rug Burn OG. Been
Rug
hearing about
Burn.
this one lately. 21.1.
It's a good name.
Rug Burn OG. Dark Star. 22%.
Yep, I saw that in the club
Love
today.
Dark Star.
actually, yeah.
Dog. Just simply called Dog.
DA or DO?
D-O.
Nice.
D-O-G.
'Cause I'm the dog.
Interesting. Sour Amnesia. Seen this one in the club also. 21.5. And Kosher Kush. Also in the
Good old
club.
kosher.
21%.
Ooh. Kosher Kush,
Ooh.
dipping at my toes there.
Ah.
Competing with the Jew Kush.
Nipping at your toes.
I got one of the places actually sent out some of my Jew Kush recently, and it came back at 23.1% for Iron Labs.
There you go.
Kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the Jew show off.
Kosher Kush. Nipping
Yeah.
at your toes.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So, interesting strains there. Always good to get your info out there, especially for these caregivers out there trying to find those new strains that are going to be effective for their patients. It's always a good idea to go ahead and read the reviews on those to find out what type of effects they may deliver. And, you know, one of the things that still boggles my mind when it comes to testing is that we are starting to be able to split apart the cannabinoids. We can find out, you know, okay, is it CBDs? Is it rich in CBNs? So on and so forth. But we still have yet to, you know, maybe someone could unravel the mysteries for us someday. But how do we differentiate between the effects of a indica versus a sativa? And what is the medicinal scientific evidence that's going to be able to say that this is a sativa and this is an indica?
That's a
and
good point.
I'd like to be able to find that out, maybe through further testing. Someday we'll be able to figure that out. Also through patients, you know, feedback and so forth.
Yep.
But, you know, some of those strains that we just went through are, you know, indicas. Some are hybrids. Some are more sativa. And so they may have similar ratings or similar cannabinoid contents. The effects that they deliver to their patients vary widely.
Yep.
Sure.
And I think that, you know, it's something that we have to take into account as patients and caregivers to figure out, you know, what is going to be effective at the right time, in the right place, and the right application for these patients. You know, some people are looking for something that's going to be an appetite stimulant. Other people are going to be looking for something that's going to be able to, you know, help them rest easy.
Yep. Anti-nausea.
Actually,
Absolutely.
Iron Labs. I don't have it with me.
I don't either, but I do believe
I
they
thought I did have the flyer.
do have
It was
the-
in my car. Sorry, guys. If you're at the club, you're
Beaners
walking
ate it.
around, and you want to go to Iron Labs webpage, they have a nice little cannabinoid wheel.
Yeah.
And the cannabinoid wheel goes over all the stuff with the different cannabinoids tend to target, like things they're good for, things they're acclimated for, and then on top of that, they are starting to test now for the terpenes, which they're finding out a lot of your terpenes play a lot of big role also with the pairing. And I think Jeremy, I think what the idea is that you almost need to start testing for all the different cannabinoids and all the different terpenes and start really putting the spectrums out there and doing like the side-by-side comparisons, because I think you're going to find that the pairing of different terpenes with different cannabinoids and the different plant species type or genotypes, I think even the comparings will have a different reaction, because as it burns and stuff, you're going to have different
Yeah, it
reactions
says
from
they're-
everything working together.
Terpenes are the major components of resin
Mm-hmm.
and of turpentine produced from resin. So yeah, turpentine.
Well, and I think if you look at herbology and other types of holistic studies, you'll find that terpenes are used
Yep.
for a lot of different treatments. And so, being that cannabis has such an amazing amount of terpenes,
Oh,
such
yeah.
a different variety of terpenes are available from different types of cannabis. There's certainly medicinal benefit to those
It's
things.
funny you bring that up, because also we talked about industrial about hemp being so productive.
Mhm.
With cannabis, we're going to wrap this up here shortly, but with cannabis, real quick, with cannabis, with the terpenes, they're finding that it's cheaper to extract a lot of the terpenes, the smells, to use for production and commercial use than it is from certain things like oranges and such for certain terpene profiles, because of the cost to get certain terpenes from an orange costs way more to get that same terpene that you could get from somewhere else easily or more cost effective, like out of cannabis. So a lot of those perfumes and smells, soaps, all that stuff that you have, the flavors and flavorings and stuff, a lot of that stuff comes from that. And that's what they're also finding. It's a great business too. If anyone's out there thinking about something with cannabis.
Terpene extraction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't find their super cool wheel on their website on my phone.
We have them on the postcards at the club. I know we got some posters. We'll have that stuff out for you.
Yep.
But if you guys get stuff tested, you guys can get right there some input on some of the stuff that we just talked about with profiling of cannabinoids and also terpenes, and start your own research. And maybe you could
Right.
come in the show one day and teach us a little bit about what you found out. Maybe indica and sativas might be different for.
Maybe now we can bring Iron Labs on our show. Maybe they'd want to talk.
They want to.
Well,
The
let's
reps
We can
that-
test your
schedule that.
terpenes.
Yeah, the reps that are working with us that come to the club actually are excited and want to like answer questions every day. They come to the club. They're willing to come for one-on-one days. They're willing to come here to the
Cool.
show. They're really excited about getting out the word of what this medicine can do with.
Excellent.
Well,
Yeah.
if we can have some listeners call in, maybe in the next couple of weeks we'll have Iron Labs on the show. We can try
Yeah.
to get some questions answered for you.
Well, guys, it's about all the time we have this week. We
Right.
appreciate you joining us. Please stop by on Sunday, 9 a.m. for the Adopt a Highway. Look forward
yeah.
to seeing you there. And hope you guys enjoy this wonderful weather we're having. And thanks for being here on Genesee County Compassion Club Show and Flint Talk Radio. John, thanks for being
Thank
with
you,
us in the
John.
studio. You guys have a great week.
Thanks,
Yes.
man. See ya.
You too. Boom.